What's going on, guys? Coach Abraham checking in with another video. Today I got some big news. My strength and conversion of power program is finally going to be released this Friday, so be on the lookout for that. Also, for the whole weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it is going to be on sale, so you don't want to miss that. So in today's video, we're going to go over what the strength and conversion of power actually is. One key note: most programs have a strength component to it but fail to convert that strength to power. So this is what this phase is going to be about. Also, we're going to go over the science of the force velocity curve. That's something you really don't want to miss. And lastly, I'm going to teach you a little bit about periodization and where you can plug in those programs depending on the time of your season. It's going to be a full guide. That's something that you guys have been asking me for a while, so I know you're really going to enjoy that. You don't want to miss out. So without further ado, let's get to it.
Lastly, we go to max strength and conversion of power, or phase 4. By this time, you're a pretty experienced lifter and need to take your game to the highest level by continuing stressing your body to compete against high-level players. Most training programs contain strength but fail to transform max strength to power for real sport activities. This is where you will transform your hard-earned maximum strength gains to sport-specific strengths such as power. The goal for this phase is for the player to reach peak performance. Only training maximal strength may lead to improvements in force production, but it may also result in a reduction of muscle contract velocity. In other words, our muscles will be strong, but they won't be fast. Training programs which combine strength and power training have been repeatedly shown to improve athletic performance more than strength or speed training alone. Like I mentioned, this is where we add contrast methods to our training, such as deadlift paired with a broad jump or bench press paired with a plyo push-up. So let's dive a little bit deeper into power training. Let's look at the force velocity curve. Shout out to Science for Sport for the awesome model. This may look confusing, so I will simplify this. The x-axis is velocity and y-axis is force. Giving an example, a 1 repetition max back squat would produce high levels of force but would be lifted at slow velocity, while a counter movement jump would produce a high movement velocity but it would only produce a low level force. The primary objective of strength and power training is to shift the force velocity curve to the right, resulting in the athlete being able to move larger loads at higher velocities and therefore becoming more explosive, more rate of force development. This is what all footballers must strive for. So does this mean I can't do power training until I reach phase 4? Absolutely not. We start power training in the foundational phase, from dumbbell jumps to kettlebell swings to bilateral plyometrics and unilateral plyometrics, just to name a few. Now let's just go a little bit deeper into how we are going to take all the phases and we're going to apply them not just individually but depending on the time of season. Not only do we need to know how to train and what to train, but also at what time period do we need to train certain aspects to peak performance. You want to ensure what you're doing in the gym is maximizing performance and not leaving you fatigued. The goal of periodization is to appropriately manipulate training contents to optimize competitive performance. I want you guys to look at this example. This is a periodization model for amateur soccer players. So if we look at this model, this is from October all the way to September. In the preparatory phase, we begin with a 4-week block of anatomical adaptation, or the foundational phase. Right after that, from November to December, 8 weeks, we go to max strength. And as you can see, January, our emphasis is power and max strength. So this is where you can come in and apply the foundational phase, the max strength phase, the power and max strength phase. The transition, this is where we probably want to lay off, because we're getting ready to go into a more intense training, which is the conversion of power, or phase 4. During the competitive season, the goal is to maintain power and your max strength. This is where we lower the volume. Instead of training for, let's say, 3 times in the gym, now we're training from 1 to 2 times, because again, the whole point of season is to be the best possible player. And if you are overloading yourself with exercises in the gym, then you won't be at your peak performance and you will fatigue, and ultimately your coach isn't gonna like that. And then this is where your coach says, oh, hey, this is why the gym is so bad. It's not that it's bad, it's just that players don't have a full grasp on how to approach training. You got to be smart. This is how every single player should approach this. Be smart with your training. Don't do too much. If you are doing power and max strength that is a good volume, especially if you are following good programs. Now, my max strength phase, I created it so you are able to lower the volume during your weight training in order to maximize your performance on the pitch. Now, let's look at a different example. Let's look at the periodization model for a professional soccer team, a European season. Now, again, these are examples for these specific scenarios. You have to look at what you're doing. It's the same thing during our prep 1 phase, anatomical adaptation. These guys are only going for 2 weeks, probably because they have already a pretty set foundation, right? And again, this is more from a team aspect. Then the next 6 weeks, they focus on max strength. So maybe that was 3 weeks of max strength and 3 weeks of power, or maybe they combine the two. And then the competitive season, which started at the end of August, it was to maintain power and max strength. During December, they stopped strength training for 1 whole week. They gave the body some rest. And the prep 2 phase, back to max strength and power. And as you notice, it's not maintenance, so maybe they were able to up the volume a little bit more just to get back those gains and stay explosive. And then for the second half of the season, again, maintain their power and max strength. At the end of the season, well, it was time to lay off season, vacation, or whatever the case was. And I'll say it again, guys, this is not something you have to follow block by block. You first need to look at yourself individually, right? This is if you are not in a team. For the most part, if you are in a team, they're taking care of all of this for you. But if you are an individual who has to do everything on his own, you need to go back to what I explained in the beginning. If you're a beginner, go to the foundational phase, and then maybe if you need to pack on a little bit muscle, especially if you're getting ready to play with men, right, who are 3, 4, 5 years older than you, you need to go into a hypertrophy, which is where you will still improve your performance but gain a little bit size, make sure you're in a caloric surplus, and then you're ready to go into a max strength phase. Do that for 4 to 8 weeks, and then you go into a power phase, maybe you go into 4 weeks again, right? So you need to understand who you are and your needs. What you don't want to do is overthink it. Your best bet is to just follow the phases 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? Because you know you can always improve your performance as long as you are not compromising your performance on the pitch during season. That's when you want to lower the volume. Guys, I know that was a whole lot of information. I recommend you watch it 1 to 2 times and really try to understand it. I know some of you guys are super serious about this, and that is awesome. That is why I make this video for you, so you can really understand on how to approach this. Take your time to really understand what you're doing, because ultimately you want to maximize your potential as a footballer. If you are doing everything accordingly, if you are training on your own, if you are following these plans, guys, you will become a top level athlete. Now, if you're somebody that says, man, this is awesome, but you know what, I need to really just focus on my career because I'm in the later stages, I'm about to probably sign my first professional contract, or maybe you are a pro already, I do offer one-on-one online coaching where we can make everything specific to you. You don't got to worry about any of this. I take care of it. We stay in contact, and I make sure that I take you to that next level. Guys, if you have any questions, make sure you leave them down below, or you can head to my Instagram where you can DM me and we can get more in depth on this. All my training programs are online on my sites. Guys, I want to take each and every single one of y'all to that next level. Don't forget to hit that like button. Hit the subscribe for more high quality content. I got some more bangers coming in, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
Open my book, rip it up with a pen, and open my mind and get at it again. I really do not know where to begin. My mind is always on my kin. My creativity on 10 was never raised with silver spoon, but my mental state make it bend. What do you mean I come again? Out of this world like fourth men, so much more than mortal men. Shit is over, shit is fin. I'm in the booth like I have sin. I'm living it up, I'm living my life. I don't give a fuck. When I was 16, I got snap PTSD, let me corrupt. I didn't leave the house until I hit the West Coast like a rock. Boy, what's up? 45 on top, shotty in the truck. Fuck